Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the news. We have kind of a special episode today where we're going to be talking about some news that Ford came out with recently that is going to affect their lineup for the next couple of years. So without further ado, let's just get right into this. Ford has recently come out and said that they are pushing back development of EVs and they're going to focus on hybrids. Now, I have a great opportunity with this job to speak to a lot of people, and one of the topics I like to talk about is EVs. I want to know how people feel about them, how people perceive them, and spending so much time with them, I can kind of answer their questions. One thing that everybody says is that they wished that they would focus on hybrids more than just directly into EVs because we're not there yet. And you know what? I do personally agree with that. I personally agree with that. We need to explore the options of hybrids. Now, this is great news for a lot of people that Ford is going to focus on hybrids because, you know, there is that fear, that uncertainty about EVs. So it seems that all of the current lineup and whatever new vehicles Ford comes out with in the next couple of years is going to have a hybrid powertrain option, which is going to be phenomenal. So today we're going to take some time. We're going to go through the current lineup and talk about what that will look like. A lot of it is going to obviously be the same, bouncing around from vehicle to vehicle, but we're going to talk about potential vehicles. We're going to talk about the Mustang. We're going to talk about the Mustang at the very end because there's some very interesting thoughts that I have there. By no means does this mean this is exactly what Ford's going to do. This is mainly just an idea of what it could look like. So starting off with the new 2024 Ranger. So recently I did talk about this on the news. The 2024 Ranger is going to have a plug-in hybrid option, but it was going to be for other parts of the world. We weren't going to see that here in North America. Now, with the announcement that all of these vehicles are going to have a hybrid option, it would be silly to develop a separate powertrain just for North America. So what you're going to see with that is the 2.3 liter plug-in hybrid that obviously is going to make a huge difference when you're driving this vehicle. 2.3 liter engine is a phenomenal engine, 300 horsepower. Pair that with an electric motor, you're going to be able to do crazy distances without filling up. And obviously plug-in hybrids, completely different. So next is going to be the Bronco. Now, since the Bronco shares a platform with the Ranger, I can only assume that you're going to see the exact same things, that 2.3 liter with an electric motor. Now, a lot of these vehicles have single gear transmissions. So if Ford can find a way where you can take the electric motor and use all the torque instantly for an off-road capabilities, that would be very interesting. Obviously, it would have to be something that's developed, but very interesting and a really cool application for an off-road vehicle. The Bronco Sport. So the Bronco Sport, there's really only one option. It is that 2.5 liter Atkinson cycle 4-banger that you get in the Maverick and also in the Explorer right now. Great engine. I have family members that have one, and they can go like north of 900 kilometers without refueling. Next up, we have the Explorer. So the Explorer does have an EV version of it, and that is for Europe, but they're pushing that back till 2027 now in North America. They're going to focus on hybrids. So obviously the Explorer, again, going to be pretty straightforward. I'm assuming they're going to have that 2.3 liter. Either it's going to be plug-in or it's just going to be paired with an electric motor. And then you have the Expedition. So the Expedition shares the platform with the F-150. So the Power Boost engine, I'm assuming, would go into the Expedition. This is very straightforward, very across the board, just very easy to input those into other vehicles. So what I'd like to talk about is what this means for the potential for new vehicles. So if Ford were to come out with something like the Focus again, or the Fiesta or the Fusion, you would see smaller cars, smaller engines paired with batteries. Now, I think that a smaller vehicle is the perfect application for an electric motor, especially paired with a small engine. The Focus, when it was in its final days, had a 1000cc, just a 1 liter EcoBoost engine. It was very efficient and it could go very far without needing to be refueled. So if you paired a 1000cc engine with an electric motor, you should be able to go forever without needing to refuel. And that is where the hybrid option really makes sense. because engines are only getting more efficient and letting less carbon out, and batteries and electric motors are only getting better and more efficient. So if you paired those two, over time you're going to have basically a vehicle that you don't have to refuel for a month. And obviously that's where they're going with this. Getting gas takes about 3 to 5 minutes depending on what you drive, and even now you go, oh man, I have to go get gas. So very interesting. What do you want to see Ford come out with a hybrid option? Would you want to see a smaller vehicle? Are you guys sick and tired of crossovers and SUVs? I'm interested. I want to know what you guys think. So let me know down in the comments. And finally, we get to the Mustang. Now, Ford has come out recently and said that they're going to make a V8 for the Mustang for as long as possible. Basically, until they're told not to by the government. So I can see one of two things happening right now. They either develop a smaller block V8, something European that's like 2.7 liter V8, and you pair it with an electric motor, or you take the Coyote and you put an electric motor with it. The only reason I think the Coyote is the option is because it's had so much development and work done to it over these last few years that they're going to stick with the 5 liter. The Coyote is an iconic engine. It's been in the Mustang for quite some time, and their motorsports teams they're just using it. It's in everything right now, and people consistently say that it's one of the best crate engines that you can get. It's high revving, it's sturdy, and it's capable. So having a 5 liter V8 that puts out 480 horsepower, pairing that with an electric motor, you'd be looking at somewhere between 600-700 horsepower with the combined. So what a phenomenal vehicle that would be. But, and this is again where it gets difficult, these hybrid engines are again a single gear transmission. So can Ford develop a manual transmission with a hybrid powertrain? It's possible. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. So I hope that they are able to do that. I'm hoping they're able to keep a manual transmission in the Mustang for as long as possible, because there are still enthusiasts out there that like to roll their own gears. Are you guys interested in maybe a smaller car, or, you know, the iconic nameplates being revived for that? So let us know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.